This is Jason Long with Brainleaf, and today we're going to be talking about agency profitability again. In our last video, we did a broad overview of agency profitability. Today though, we're going to do a deep dive. So we're going to cover this stuff and that stuff. It's a lot of stuff. So let's get started. So first off, agency organization. There's certain ways to set up your business to maximize your profit in a digital agency, or really in any kind of agency, or most kinds of agencies. So this is how we go about doing it. First off, in-house the right people. The way that we do this is we bring in-house full-time people that can manage and run projects. What that means is that we take top-level people that are specialists in things like digital marketing or development or project management. Sometimes you got to have your in-house project managers who are really specializing in that item, and those are your full-time people. And then outsource your actual work. So the in-house people are constantly running these projects, but you don't want to pay in-house designers and developers all the time unless you're running projects all the time. And in a digital agency, things go up, things go down. You get a big job and then you finish it and then you got to do another sale. Or, as time goes by, it kind of evens out a little bit. But when it's not evened out, you need to be outsourcing your contractors. So in-house the managers, outsource the contractors. Next, if you're in a country where wages are high, so like we're in the US and wages are very high here, outsource your work to somewhere where they're not high. We have a big team in Romania and Bulgaria right now, and that helps us tremendously. A big team of contractors. We have our in-house people here in Atlanta. Everyone else is out in Eastern Europe or South America, and that cuts our costs tremendously. Next, make project discovery a part of the sale. And what I mean by that is if something is really, really easy to estimate right out the door, then go ahead and just take care of it. But if it's not, if it's a big thing and it's going to take you some time to figure it out, you've got to charge for that. You've got to sell the discovery. It makes a huge difference. And then finally, write SOPs. An SOP is a standard operating procedure. When you bring on new people, or if you just have to explain to somebody how to do something, if you don't have an SOP just to say, here you go, do it like this, then it takes a really long time for you to explain it. For one time, not a problem. But if you have to do this over and over and over the course of a year, imagine how much time you would have saved by just doing a really good job of writing it up, doing a video, explaining it, putting it into a place where it can be accessed easily, and just giving it to people. It makes a huge difference. The knowledge you have in your head is super valuable and hard to get out there, so make it easier in any way you can. Next up, executing projects smoothly. So there are entire volumes written about how to execute projects. There's an entire profession of project management on how to do this. If you're running a digital agency, I highly recommend you take a course on project management. It can be huge for you. If nothing else, just take an online course. Just read a book on it. Do something, but understand as much as you can about project management. It really will make a huge difference in your business. Next, and this is probably the easiest thing that you can do to make sure that projects run really smoothly. Write them up. Write them up. Every piece, every section, every subsection, every piece of the entire project, what your team is doing, what your team is not doing. This is the entire reason we built Brainleaf. And when you have all this stuff written and you understand what's going into it and your clients understand what's going into it, your projects run smoothly. Everybody's on the same page. In line with that, the next thing on my list is make sure that you have milestones. So a lot of projects I've seen are just like, yeah, we're gonna do the thing. No, just write, once you have it written up, it's easy to say section 1, section 2, section 3, milestone 1, milestone 2, milestone 3, and this is the big piece of it. When you're in those milestones, when you get to those milestones, have your client sign off on them. Just say, yep, I approve that this is done. If we have to go back and do something in that milestone again, I understand that I'm going to pay more money for that. It really makes a huge difference in your business. Projects falter and fail when they're not written, and projects that are really well written up are very smooth. Next, we've got make sure that you have good people. Your in-house people that I mentioned a minute ago, make sure that you have good people and you're paying them well. Those people that are running your projects make the biggest difference in your business. If the projects are smooth and the projects are easy, you can focus on moving your business forward. But if your projects are faltering, you're going to be dealing with fires all of the time. So don't deal with fires. Get good people. Next up, cut your costs and maximize the value of your money. So in your business, number one, don't get SaaS systems that you don't need. I've talked to so many agency owners that are like, oh, I have all of these things. And we take a look and I'm like, do you use this? No. Do you use this? No. Do you use this? No. Get rid of them. You don't need them. Only get the things that you really need. That monthly spend may look like a little bit of money. 20 bucks here, 50 bucks there, whatever, but it adds up. Remember, when you have a $50 per month thing, that's $600 per year. If you have a few of them, you're looking at thousands of dollars a year that you could be cutting out. Next, office space. Do you really need the office space? This was something that I struggled with for a long time. We had offices in multiple locations over time. These days, we're a fully remote company. We may end up one day having to go back to having an office space, but right now, we don't really need it. If you're wondering whether your clients will trust you any more or any less because of your office, I can tell you that we've been doing this for 18 years now. Right now, we don't have an office, and it's not a problem for our customers at all. And then finally, check your credit card. How much money are you spending every month on stuff that you really don't need outside of those SaaS systems? How much money are you spending on your phone systems, on your electricity, on your all sorts of things? We had our accountant actually go through and take a look at all of this stuff. We were able to cut out thousands and thousands of dollars per year by just stuff that we didn't need. Oh, and actually I forgot one other thing. Make sure that you are taking ACH and not credit cards from your customers. Customers have no problem paying you with ACH versus credit cards. When you're taking money with a credit card, you're paying anywhere between 2.5 and 3% per transaction. If you start getting up to the point where you're doing $10,000 transactions and you're doing it over and over and over again, all of a sudden you're looking at a lot of money. At my agency one year, we cut $30,000 out of our costs because we stopped taking credit cards. Actually, we specifically stopped taking American Express. And then slowly we stopped taking everything else for anything above $1,000. Anything above $1,000 is ACH e-check only. It's a big thing. It's really easy to do, and it can save you money right away. Next, choosing your clients. So difficult clients cost you money. Sometimes it doesn't look like it, but if somebody is a pain, it means it's taking extra time to do their work and it's extra stress on you. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. If someone is difficult, get rid of them. Not only does it cause you pain and cause you money, it decreases morale in your company. And that can be a huge hit to all the other projects as well. When people aren't feeling good about working, they slow down on everything they do, not just that one client. So if you've got someone that's difficult, just let them go. Fire that client. Don't be afraid to do it. It'll be one of the best things you've ever done. And finally, if you think someone is going to be difficult to work with, you're probably right. If you don't think they're going to pay their bills or you think they're going to be a pain, you go with your gut on this, because they probably are, and you're probably going to lose money, and you're probably just going to end up having to fire them anyway, so just don't take them in the first place. And that's also part of having a profitable company. If you've got a profitable company, you don't have to take those clients. You can choose to take them or not take them. So that's working with clients. Know your money. You've got to know your money in an agency. So what that means is that you should do the books yourself. If you feel like, oh, I'm a designer, I'm a programmer, I'm whatever, and I shouldn't do that, I'm gonna let somebody else take care of that, you're wrong. You need to do it. If your company is big enough and you've got somebody now that can take care of this without you, that's fine. But especially in the beginning, and even when you're at like a medium-sized company, You need to understand exactly what's going on with your books all the time. So that means you've got to know how much money you've got coming in and out every month, and you've got to forecast what's going to be coming in or going out. Upcoming in Brainleaf, we're going to have a system that enables you to do this, and it just exports all the Brainleaf stuff out to a series of spreadsheets, and I'll do a whole video on that. But for right now, part of this video is know your money. You've got to know that. And a couple of the things that we've got with that is what we do is we have a big whiteboard that shows this is where we are today, this is where we want to be in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days, etc. And we can chart our progress of where we want to be versus where we actually are. It makes a huge difference because what you can do is every day when you get into the office, you can look at that whiteboard and you can say, is what I'm doing today making a difference in getting me to that next point? It makes a huge difference. It keeps you from wasting your time. And then finally, it also keeps you from wasting your money on frivolous things. Those little bits of money that go out make a huge difference. Don't waste your money. Make sure that you know where your money's going. Ask yourself, is this a reasonable spend? Almost every time. Next up, marketing. The best way to market yourself is to teach what you know. Some of the things you can do to do this are run an event, teach children, teach adults, volunteer at a nonprofit, volunteer at a school, do webinars, do YouTube videos, run a podcast, or run a class at your local chamber of commerce. When you teach what you know, people trust you. They get the feeling, they feel that you understand what you're talking about. Teaching what you know is one of the best ways, in my opinion, to market yourself. What you do is a relationship business. And so having that personal relationship obviously makes a huge difference. In line with that, don't be afraid to give away your knowledge. What we do, what you and I do, there's no secret to it. We're not hiding anything from anyone. Anybody can go online and with enough time and enough energy, they can figure out how to do the things that we do. So don't be afraid to give your clients your knowledge, to give your friends your knowledge, to give your peers or your competitors your knowledge. It's fine. No one is going to steal anything from you. I've seen so many businesses, especially younger entrepreneurs starting out saying, oh, I'm not going to tell them this. I'm not going to share this with that. I want them to pay me for this stuff. That's fine. If you want to do that, that's great. You know who they're going to trust more though? Is me when I tell them how to do stuff. So don't let that happen to you. And then finally, work with your competitors, not against them. The number one place that I learn how to grow my business is from my competitors. There's plenty of business. We're not competing directly on hardly anything. Every now and then, but you know what? If they win something and I didn't win something, great. They probably deserved it. So what I would say is have great relationships with your competitors. Understand what they're doing. Understand how their processes work and tell them freely how yours work. That's a great way to do things, and it is also part of marketing yourself because when they have extra work that they can't take and you have a great relationship with them, they're gonna call you. This happened to me 2 days ago. Somebody called me up and said, hey, I've got this extra stuff. I need some extra help. I need some more developers. Can you help me out? It's somebody that has been doing business in this area for about as long as we have, and they understand this principle as well. So don't be afraid to give away your knowledge, share with your competitors, and teach. Teaching is one of the best things you can do. All right, last thing today, agency sales. One of the easiest ways to make a sale is to make an offer. So many people don't make an offer. What we try to do is make an offer to somebody every day. All that means is that if you've got somebody who's interested in working with you, call them up and make them an offer. Hey, you want this thing? We can do this thing for this much money. Here's the contract. If you want, you can take the contract with you, go to their office and put it in front of them. What we do is we just send it over to them along with their scope of work in Brainleaf. But make an offer, get on the phone, talk to somebody. If there's somebody that you want to work with, somebody that you haven't talked with, let's say there's some big business that you would love to work with in your community, get on the phone, call up whoever is in charge of that thing at that business and say, hey, I'm right here, I'm down the street, I want to do this project for your business. It's that easy, and you'd be amazed how many times people are actually thinking about these projects themselves already, and they just want somebody to say, I can do this for you. Next, tell people you want to do their projects. This is a little bit different than the first two things I said. What this means is when you're in the middle of the sales process, when you're negotiating, it's really important to tell people, hey, my team and I want to do your project. Doing your project is important to us. We like working with people like you, doing interesting projects like yours, and we want to do this project. We want to negotiate this thing with you. When people know that you're not only interested in like the money, the work, the stuff, that you really like working with them and that you want to do this, they want to work with you. So tell them you want to do it. And finally, sales are done personally. I keep harping on call them, get in front of them, go to their office, because what we do in an agency is a personal thing. We have a relationship with people. So get in front of them. Don't be afraid to get out of your office, drive over to their offices and say, hey, I want to take you out to lunch today. Hey, I want to shake your hand in person. We don't need to be just meeting via Join Me or Zoom or whatever. I want to be right here in front of you. That's really, really important. And that makes the difference in the long-term sales. So that's my top sales notes. Thank you so much. This is Jason Long with Brainleaf, and I recommend that you go check out brainleaf.com. It's got plenty of templates. It's got ways to forecast your money, manage your money, all sorts of things. It's a free trial, 14 days, doesn't cost you anything. I highly recommend it. If nothing else, check out our book on how to scope your projects. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great day, and I really hope this was helpful for you.